Sorry about that. The camera decided to stop recording. Where I was last was saying DC, people find it a bit incoherent due to the fact that they're trying to now cram, if you put it that way. And for me, it was fine. I didn't have an issue. Yes, maybe things here and there. My only main issue was, which we were speaking about for the camera cut, was Lex Luthor. That was my only thing. He says he preferred Superman Returns, Lex Luthor, which is more of that
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he's more suave-ish, he has an agenda on the side, even though he's clever. This one, he seemed a bit more neurotic, a bit more up and down. You know?
Was he not being a little bit more of a weasel?
No, I don't think that was that.
And cocky.
Not cocky. He's really smart. And you can see how smart he is. I mean, he figured out, how to build a Kryptonian hybrid monster. Just in literally a month. So he's really, really smart. And I think they sort of portraying he is so smart, but he's got all the little weird quirky people that super smart people have. They're very twitchy and they're neurotic and they get angry when people don't see views in their light and that sort of thing. He wanted pretty much his big thing was he wanted to pit Superman against Batman.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, just go kill the Batman.
One of them to kill one another, one of them to die, basically.
For him, it's like a game. It's like a really elaborate big game.
Which nonetheless it's a character trait that is cool. It's not the Lex Luthor I'm used to from the cartoons and the comics.
So do you think that he was a bit of a rip-off of a Joker?
I don't think he was at any point trying to be a Joker.
No, I just think what they tried to do maybe I don't know, is make him so intelligent and I think he also had him being second best, not in the limelight kind of thing. And Batman and Superman were taking all the focus and he's there but no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
So I think it gets to him and I think maybe that's what it was and that's fine, but it's just in terms of the character I prefer the Lex Luthor that's wealthy, suave, always a second agenda, and that's kind of where it is. But
but now let's talk about the film in general. What was it about the film that made you go, this is an awesome film?
You want to go first?
There you go.
For me, it was the pacing. I loved how well paced it was. There were action scenes which was cool. I enjoyed them, but they were very small. The whole Tumblr.
Well, the Batmobile.
Yeah, the whole Batmobile chase through the docks of Gotham. I thought that was awesome. It kept you entertained, but they were more story driven. I mean, it's how Bruce Wayne was lying to Alfred about what's on the boat. He said it was a dirty bomb, and then Alfred eventually confronted him. Where I feel a lot of movies don't follow the pace of the story anymore. So I really like that they were. Like we were saying, the director's not very good at storytelling, but I felt the story was told very well.
Yeah.
So I really, really liked it. I thought that was an awesome thing. I like that they sort of saved the best for last, the big monumentous monster arrived right at the end, and it was just a super battle and leveled the city pretty much. That was also very cool. The visual effects were fantastic. That's probably the visual effects and the sound were probably the two things that I could say definitely made that movie just that much better over the top than if you were to just see it in a normal theatre.
So in your opinion, would you say that Batman vs Superman was better than Avengers Age of Ultron?
I would definitely say so, because at no point did I get aggravated with the characters in Age of Ultron. When Ultron opened his mouth, I was just shut up.
And you guys didn't find that, I see some of the critic reviews that Henry Cavill was very wooden. He was not.
Well, they said that about the first one as well. They're always going to find an issue with him, but people forget.
Yeah, because he's not Christopher Reeve.
Probably. It's probably a thing too, but people also got to remember.
He's not Superman. He's actually the Man of Steel. I think that's what people have to understand.
Yeah, but if you also even if you look at the comics and the cartoon shows, the series or whatever, the Justice League series, Superman isn't he's not elasticy or anything. He's Superman. It's right or it's wrong. I'll do what I can to save you, and that's what it is. There's no. So he's playing it right. It's just maybe he's not giving winks or something or making little jokes, which Christopher Reeve did. But we've also got to remember that was in the 80s. Superman was different then. You
Yeah,
had to do something.
Superman was slow. Have you ever
But-
seen those movies where he takes off his like?
They're still classics. The Richard Donner are classics,
Yeah.
which is why we said Superman Returns was homage to those films, which upset me. People wanted something different. Now, DC has brought something different. Warner Brothers has brought something different. They brought characters that fit into our timeline of society, and the people are still complaining. I think the main thing is he's not Superman. He is the Man of Steel, which is why they came up with the first original Man of Steel. They didn't call it Superman.
Which
Yeah.
I really liked. I enjoyed the first Man of Steel. I enjoyed it. I really liked the Superman the most. Superman Returns I didn't like. I felt he was too much of like a whiny little all the time. He was just constantly like, his life was always going wrong in some way, and I really didn't like it.
Well, people didn't like the fact that he ended up not being the hero.
Yeah, the hero
Yeah.
was
The hero
actually
was the
James
husband.
Brosnan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
husband.
like,
Yeah,
So
same,
people
yeah.
that's what people didn't like, which
Like-
is understandable, I guess. Superman would never.
I
He,
saw
he wouldn't crawl, and when he was on the island of the
Kryptonian Island.
Kryptonite Island, he was crawling and, in a sense, weeping to a degree because of what was happening to him. And if you look at it on two ways, yes, that's not Superman,
Yeah.
but at the same token, you've lost all your abilities basically,
Okay, but
and
people
you're
are
at the
saying
mercy of people.
without his abilities, he still needs to be a man.
Yeah,
He's still,
he still has to stand
about
up
to
for
say,
his
isn't
things.
like the whole point of like kryptonite? It's that it makes him human. It doesn't kill him.
It
When-
can kill him.
It can
It just if it's in his area, it just takes away his.
Well, like they
abilities.
sort of had that at the end of Batman vs Superman. Like when he picks it up, like he can't fly. He starts to like stumble and
Yeah,
walk.
but
And
he's
he's more jumping
It
towards.
deteriorates himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
cells
deteriorates itself.
So, but yeah, no, look, I think that's probably one of the big things with Christopher Reeve's thing. You're never gonna replace him,
Yeah.
and that'll always be
Yet,
there.
the question keeps coming up, who's the best Batman? And we keep changing our minds from Michael Keaton to Val Kilmer
No.
to George Clooney, who was probably the worst,
He's not in the category,
Yeah.
George Clooney.
the worst
Clooney with that
Batman ever. Up to now Ben Affleck. Why is it okay for us to then justify to say that Ben Affleck
I think
is
it's
a better Batman, but we can't go back and say that Henry Cavill is the better Superman?
I think you can because you can actually say we've had lots of Batmans, lots of successful Batmans, and like you have the Christopher Nolan Batman, which I think is really cool, but I prefer Ben Affleck's as a Batman because he just seemed like you even said earlier, he seems to enjoy both sides of it more. Where Christopher Nolan's Batman, he always just seems to actually hate being Batman. No, that always put me off a little bit. How he's always like, Alfred, I don't want to be Batman, and that sort of.
Well, yeah, you see, this one he's already been Batman for X amount of years. In the Dark Knight series,
he becomes
where this Batman starts, technically his one ended. That he was at the point we've been doing it his whole entire.
But you see, like in the Nolan trilogies, he pretty much had to end his life as Batman to live his life as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Whereas here
He somehow found a balance
He's
between
found
the
that
two.
balance.
Yeah.
Warren, earlier we were asking, do you believe that Batman vs Superman is a success compared to Age of Ultron? But why do you believe that this Batman vs Superman is a great film, as opposed to what the critics out there are saying? We are fans, and we should actually be the hardest on the
Please.
characters.
Well, for me, what I enjoyed about it, obviously, take away the CG and the sound, because you're never gonna go wrong when you have like a $250 million budget.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it is it's. I'm trying to make it simple. What I don't like about Marvel, as an example, the Avengers is it's happy. It's technically going to be good in terms of its happy ending vibes, and no real danger seems to be in place.
Present.
With Man of Steel and like with this one, it's clear and it's more realistic with the fact that building with destruction, destruction to buildings.
Just to do this up, the original Man of Steel, which we have all the complaints about the amount of people that got killed and how did Superman make this happen.
Just to interject on that.
We saw Batman turn around and say, I'm moving him to the docks in Gotham City because
no one's there.
there's no one there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually about to say that. They would justify it to a lot of point, in the news footage of Batman vs Superman. They're just oh, thank God it's a weekend and no one's there, or after 5 hours there. I sat there and Why? Why does that actually matter? Just you know.
Well, I enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed it as a whole. I thought it was really good. Only downfall that I said was just purely because maybe Zack Snyder's storytelling capabilities. That was it, and a little bit of Lex as a whole. As a whole, everything